is Shattered. I'm your host, Rick Collins.
Hello and welcome to Chattered. I'm your host, Rick Collins, coming to you from SGV Studios in Alhambra, California. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest from the legendary 60s band The Seeds, Daryl Hooper. Daryl Hooper, their amazing keyboardist and songwriter. I wanted Daryl on the show for a long time. We've known each other for a while, and I've had some great conversations with him, at backstages and on the phone. And it's always a good time with him, having a drink and telling stories and hearing all of his stories from the back in the day, especially his interactions with the band and with Sky Saxon. Him and Sky couldn't be more different. Sky was Sky. He was out there, as his reputation definitely precedes him, and he's well known for his, let's just say, eccentricities. And Daryl is more grounded, and he's more conservative, didn't really get into drugs and things like that. Don't get me wrong, he's not a prude. We had some good times and drinking together, and we had some fun after this interview and their visit in the studio that day. But they're just different cats, and they complemented each other well. And that's why the music was the way it was. Sky can float above and write what he wrote about, and Daryl can lay down the foundation and write the music. But make no mistake about it, they were what they created, along with Rick Andridge and Jan Savage. We're still talking about it, and they're still playing. They just got back from England. He has a great band with him. They played in Glasgow. They played several shows in England. And as a matter of fact, Shindig Magazine said that their show in London was the best show of 2025. So any doubt about the Seeds' legacy and band moving forward has been squashed. They sound amazing. And you can watch them too on my YouTube channel. If you're listening to our podcast, go to our YouTube channel, Chattered, and they perform live in the studio here at SGV Sound. So I'm very grateful for that. It was a rainy day. It was difficult load in, and they all came in, and I really want to thank all the guys and Daryl for performing. They do 3 classic Seed songs, and on top of that, we recorded a brand new single for them. So they're very much an active band. That brings me to the band. You have Paul Comp fronting the band. Amazing frontman, amazing singer. If anybody knows Paul's work, Paul's not trying to be Sky Saxon or imitate Sky Saxon. Paul has his own style and his own style of singing, but it complements the Seeds' music perfectly. And, that's his pedigree. He is a Seeds fan. He is a fan of 60s rock and roll. So you get to see Paul perform. You also have Alec Palau in the band. Alec Palau, recently, he's nominated for a Grammy with his work on a documentary for Sly Stone. He is an amazing archivist. He's done so many great reissues, from producing archiving the music, producing it, remixing it, writing all the liner notes. Many of you probably know Alec Palau's work. I'm really enjoying right now his work on the Sons of Adam reissue on vinyl, reading all the liner notes and listening to the records. He did a great job on that. The Creation reissue. He also did all the reissues for the Seeds catalog through Crescendo Records. If you haven't picked those up, you need to pick them up. If you're a Seeds fan, they sound amazing. The liner notes, it's like you get like a book, and Alec details the recording process, things that were happening in the studio at the time, where they recorded. There's so many great little nuggets of facts in there. And He found songs that we had, outtakes of songs that we never knew existed, alternate lyrics, some songs that have never been heard before. So yeah, if you get a chance, Crescendo Records, any of the Seeds albums they've all been reissued, and they're on vinyl. So that's another cool thing if you're a vinyl freak. He plays bass, and he's played with the Stingrays, Chocolate Watch Band. Just a cool guy, and I hope to have him on the show soon. So maybe that'll be happening next year. On guitar, you have Mark Balgraf. Mark Balgraf played with me in the Seeds during our time with the Seeds, with the comeback with Sky Saxon and with Jan Savage in the 2000s. Mark learned all the Seeds material on guitar. As a matter of fact, when Jan came to LA to join the band in 2000, I think it was 2002, 2003 or 4, somewhere in there, forgive me, we were getting ready for a European tour, and what Jan failed to tell us was that he hadn't played guitar in, he said, almost 20 years. So Mark had to take him to go to where he was living and stay with him and kind of teach Jan his parts again. Jan did eventually relearn his style of playing. I remember we were playing at a show, I think in Spain, and he was doing the bendy thing on his Mustang, and I got chills because it was like, wow, only Jan can do that and sound like that. Unfortunately, we have lost Jan. Jan passed away. Also, Rick Andridge, original drummer, and sadly, Sky Saxon in 2009. So Daryl is the last living member of the Seeds. Next on drums, we have Justin Smith is playing with them. Justin also played in our version of the Seeds with Sky Saxon. He did a European tour, US tour, a bunch of other dates. And yeah, Justin's a fantastic drummer. I like to call him Mr. Smith. He's got a great personality, dry wit, killer drummer. Just solid. And he swings in his own way too. He's faithful to the material, but also makes it his own. So this is the band that's backing Daryl right now in the Seeds. Like I said, we recorded a new single here. They have plans to go back to Europe and to play some more live dates. Hopefully we can get them out to LA. LA is a little hard to come to. We need a promoter to make that happen. Anybody listening out there, please reach out and let's get the Seeds to play where it all began in Los Angeles. It's been a rough year for a lot of people. I know it's been a rough year for me. Lots of good things, but also a lot of deaths, friends and people. I hear from other people also that they've had rough years. Some famous people that we know of that are very notable. One of the losses that we had this year was Ryan Maines. He goes by Schmedley or Schmed. Some of his friends and have called him Schmedley or Schmed. Ryan played in the Seeds. He played keyboards with the Seeds when Daryl wasn't playing with us. This is when we had Sky Saxon, and this is around 2006, 7, 8. And we did a European tour. We did a U.S. tour. And Schmed is just was an amazing musician. He can play guitar great. He could sing, keys, anything. Drums. He played in a band called Arlo that was on Sub Pop. If you want to look them up, he played with Weezer for a while live. He was in a lot of bands. He also was a prolific writer, wrote a ton of music. Him and I lived together. We had a lot of good times together. We were bad boys. Yeah, we went there. We got out there, and we used to jam together a lot. So it was a lot of fun when he came into the Seeds, and I got to play with one of my old friends. He moved on and moved out of state and kind of lost some touch with him. And we had some ups and downs, but I'm blessed to know that when he came to LA the last time, we had a blast, and it was like anything that we might have had, in bands, there's always things happen. We just let it go and got back to the core of what our relationship was. And yeah, we had a blast. So I want to dedicate this episode to Ryan Maines and his memory. He was a Pasadena staple, local guy. A lot of people miss him. So this is dedicated to Ryan. I'm very grateful that I've been able to do this show. You know, I wanted to do a podcast. I know everybody does a podcast, but I want to do one too, damn it. So, just all the different people that I get to meet, I've been fortunate in that way. I've had some great guests this year. We got 11 episodes. I wanted to do more, but I'm glad we got 11. I want to thank everybody that helped me put this together. Brent Bergholm, we got Jeremy Estrada, Mario Zermano, Christian Ackerman. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry, but these are all people that have helped me to produce this show and get it together. This was something I've wanted to do for a while. I have more episodes lined up next year. It's going to be even better. I hope, I hope it's a better year for everybody, for you too. I have one in the can episode with Reb Kennedy from Wild Records that'll be coming out here in January. And ironically, that's the anniversary of the fires in Altadena. And unfortunately, Reb lost his home. And it was also the headquarters of Wild Records and his recording studio in Altadena. And we're going to be releasing that episode on the anniversary of that. He speaks about that. And fascinating guy, really cool guy, a mensch. And I just want to wish everybody, happy holidays. These are really tough times. We're living in chaotic times. But we need to soldier on, move ahead, stay positive, and keep creating. Things can get better. Rough year, but 2026 hopefully will be a better year. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And here we go. Daryl Hooper of the Seeds. Enjoy. Thank you once again. Take care. Rolling. Daryl, thanks for being here.
It's good to see you, Rick. It's been a little bit, but yeah. Be back in town here.
Yeah, so you're here in town to do the documentary is playing.
Doing quite a few things while I'm here. Tomorrow on Sunday, I guess early evening, the Pushing Too Hard movie is showing again in Beverly Hills. Came down for that. Came down to see you and do this podcast, and we're doing a little bit of recording while we're here. We got a new song we're going to be doing, so a lot of things are happening right now for the Seeds.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're recording here again. We did the single, gosh, that must have been 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And Butterfly Child and Vampire.
Yeah.
It was great right there. There's the single.
Yeah.
Cool artwork. And then you also played here. You played a show in the back.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That was a wild one. A proper garage shindig.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so it's been a while. It's great to see you again, and I'm excited to hear the new song today. And then you guys just came back from Europe, in England. You played England and one show in Scotland, I believe.
We had Glasgow. We started the little tour we did, and then Leeds, and then Bristol, and then finally London at the Coco, which was absolutely amazing. Sold it out, and Shindig Magazine has awarded us the best show of 2025 to see in the UK.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, very proud of that one.
Well,
I was amazed.
Very deserved.
Yeah, thank you.
I know that you and the boys have been working hard.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's been good. England was terrific. The people were just amazing. They really loved seeing us, and we loved being there, and it was just, everything was great.
Yeah, Glenn Povey, I think, did those shows, and he did and Ace Records.
Glenn was
a promoter, I believe.
Ace Records was putting on
sponsored
the Coco, and then Adrian. I can't remember. Was his last name? Adrian?
I don't think so. Was he a promoter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll get it. It'll flash on the screen.
Anyway, he set up the other stuff. He was hired by Ace, and
that's
so
cool.
The main show was Coco, but the other ones were really great too. And
you went there a little early, though, didn't you? Go to
I went early with my wife, and we got to go up to the Tattoo in that's the big at the Edinburgh Castle in Edinburgh. All the Scottish pipers and bagpipers and all of the military. It was absolutely a lifetime thing to see.
Wow.
Amazing.
So what was like an outdoor?
It's a big outdoor arena right in front of the castle that you're involved in, and they come marching out of the castle, the front of the castle. It's extremely, I mean, there's thousands and thousands. You have to get tickets 6 months to a year ahead of time.
Wow.
It's always packed. And this was I think the 75th year of doing it or something. Mm-hmm. And so it was quite an event. It was really fun.
I'm not sure if everybody knows what a love you have of England, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I went over there first in 1985 just as a pleasure trip. As a pleasure trip, and fell in love with the country and met some wonderful people. I have a couple of really close friends over there from traveling over and meeting, and they've been here now and stuff. And yeah, it's quite. I built a pub on my property just for friends, and like you got a bar in your house or something. Well, I've got an actual authentic pub on my property between two garages that. Just because I loved England so much, I had to have a piece of it here.
Mm-hmm. I know. I still want to get up there sometime.
Yeah.
Do you have English cars too?
Yes, I do. I drive a Jaguar every day.
Which one do you have?
Well, I've got an XK8 sports car, and I've also got an XJ8 Landonplaus, the total luxury one. So I've got two, and I just switch on and off. I've had other classics. I've had an E-Type that I sold just a couple of years ago. Now living in Switzerland.
Wow, those E-Types were cool.
Oh, yeah, great cars. But and I've had a lot of them through the years. Yeah.
Do you drive around with like some of the outfits you used to wear in the Seeds?
No, not really.
That would look cool though. Because the way you dressed was so cool back then. What was the inspiration for the way you dressed back then?
Well, I always kind of liked the era of the 1700s of the way people dressed then. And so I started designing some clothes, and my mother was a fabulous seamstress. Mm-hmm. And so I would draw out a picture or something and send it to her and say, what do you think, And then she would do it in there's a cheap material called, I think it's called muslin. Mm-hmm. And anyway, she would mock it up in that, send it to me, and then I'd try it on and say, well, it's just perfect, except you need to do this, take it in here or let it out here, that sort of thing. Send it back to her. A couple of weeks later, I get the package in the mail, this beautiful velvet coat that she's made or something. So she made a lot of my clothing.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at all the old footage, of video footage and photos, you're almost always in something different.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always liked dressing up and doing something different than everybody else was doing. I'm still that way,
Well, and you all had the longest hair at the time.
Yeah, we did. I think we had the longest hair at the time until the hair bands came out in the 80s, 90s, whatever. But yeah.
That was one thing about the Seeds that everybody still talks about is just how, besides the music, how cool your image was. I mean, everybody looked so cool in the band. They had their own distinct look.
Yeah. Each individual was an individual person. Sky had his thing and how he dressed, and then of course Jan was being of Indian trait. He always had that Indian flair about him and stuff, and yeah.
I remember when we did the Sky Memorial, and I don't know if you had played in a while. And you were coming down to play. We were honoring Sky's life at the Echoplex in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I think you gave me a call, and you said, you think it'd be cool if I kind of dressed like how I did with the Seeds, with the ruffled shirts? I said, heck yeah, it would be cool. And you did. Everybody was so excited when they saw you. You came out looking cool. You still dress really cool, by the way. You still have that. I don't think you ever lose that flair, that style. Yeah. And rumor is, I've heard from your bandmates, that when you're in certain towns, you might disappear for a while looking for some of the better clothing stores.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
I love that because a lot of the older cats and musicians of your era too, they'll just come in and you're like, you think it's like someone's, dad or something coming off the soccer field, but you've always been dedicated to looking cool and fashion. I mean, and so was Sky was that way too. Sky was like that too. We would practice in his garage, and we'd play 3 or 4 songs or something, and an hour later he's ran into the house and changed his clothes. We're practicing in the garage, mind you, so yeah. Well, I can't imagine what it would have been like in the studio then.
Yeah.
We were talking about that too, because when I recorded with him, man, he had his dog in the vocal booth. He was like, he brought these 2 twins that never spoke, and he said they were his girlfriends, both of them. He had people coming up. He walked to the liquor store, walking with a random person, and this guy's gonna play rhythm guitar with us now, and we're just like, no. And I'm trying to clear out the studio. I'm like, you all have to go. We're actually trying to work here.
Yeah, luckily we didn't have that problem in the early days.
Okay, good to know. See, I wondered about that.
No. No, it was much more business. He would get sidetracked and try to write a new song in the middle of an old one or something, but we would keep him under control. And I used to be kind of the director per se. That's a great part, but put it here, or I would direct everybody in the band
too.
And Sky would sometimes kind of get over exuberant and get off the beat or something and say, okay, well, wait a minute, let's do this or do that. It was always funny if Gene Norman would show up at the studio, and he was saying, Sky, quit dancing around so much, you're waving back and forth with the microphone and but he had to move, man. He had to. He was like Elvis. He had to feel that music,
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about these reissues that have come out of your albums that Alec Palau put together and Neil Norman, Crescendo, the same label. And you could hear some of those tidbits because Alec went and got the master tapes, as you know. And for those of you that don't know that are listening, there's a wonderful remastered on vinyl and CD and online of all the Seeds albums with different alternate takes, some songs that were never heard, and studio banter. And you could hear Gene Norman in there.
Yeah.
Talking. I think one time guys asking for the lights to be turned off, but that was all typical stuff. Like band wants to create a mood.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it was all typical.
No,
the behind the scenes stuff that you don't hear about.
People just love that. Everyone loves that. Everybody knows the hits and all that.
I remember when we did the Future album. So this is a little later on in the career there, but Sky had brought in a whip, an actual real whip, and it's in one of the recordings. I can't remember which song it is. It might be March of the Flower Children.
Yeah.
And you can hear this whip crack, and that's Sky in the studio. Whack, whack, and he's singing away and whack. It was fun stuff.
That's wild. Another thing that maybe a lot of people don't know is just how much of the songwriting was you.
Yes,
it was kind of murky back then, and it's no secret that Sky took a lot of the credit, but really you had an immense influence and big part of writing all the music, pretty much.
I wrote as far as the music part. Sky was the song, the voice, the lyrics.
He wrote great lyrics.
I'm not a lyric person. I can't write lyrics for whatever. But I was the music guy, and if I wasn't directing, I actually wrote the song. I wrote a lot of the music. I think it's important for people to know that, because I did play with Sky. I know he really couldn't play an instrument that well, but he was amazing with melody and lyrics. He was amazing.
Constantly, even in his older
creating
years.
all the time. Really, we'd go to breakfast if we were on tour, and he'd be all of a sudden writing down lyrics on a napkin, as we're trying to have breakfast. So he was doing that all the time. He was quite amazing that way.
Yeah, even when he was older, he was still doing that. It was pretty amazing, his creativity.
Yeah.
But, and the other thing with the Seeds, too, it just seemed like, did you guys tour much? Did you go to Europe?
No, we never did Europe. No. We traveled all over Canada, all the way across Canada. and then a couple times shorter trips coming up from the eastern states and into Canada. So we did a bunch of that, and we did Honolulu, Hawaii, a big show over there. We were really hot at the time, and it was like a miniature Beatles happening. We landed the airplane, we got off, and it was out there they unloaded you in the field type thing, or the airport, but I mean the down the ramp. You weren't like in the airports nowadays where you're just walking into the building. This is, you're out on the field walking in, and here we get there. There's just not thousands, but hundreds and hundreds of young people screaming and yelling, and then of course Hawaii, all the flower leis and stuff. And we get there and they're throwing leis at us, and I guess they had 20 leis on me and stuff and whatever. And they had a limo there to whisk us away to a radio station to do an interview like right away and whatever. So it was very exciting. Like I say, it was like a miniature Beatles happening. You know? And for us, it was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
You know,
oh,
and it was a huge show. I don't remember how many thousands were there, but it was a lot. It was a big round, what do you call it, theater, but
like an amphitheater.
Well, it wasn't an amphitheater because it was all enclosed. Big dome. It was a big dome place.
Oh wow!
And I mean, there was at least 10,000, maybe 15,000.
Wow!
Somewhere in there. It was huge.
How fun!
Yeah, and one little spot during that show, they had, the stage was real high, and they had police protection in the front. There's like 3 or 4 cops in the front of it, and they would be just, their head would be just below the stage level, so that's how high the stage was. And everybody's crowded up really tight to the stage, and it's just a sea of people, plus the ones in the seats and everywhere. But somebody threw a lei, and it landed on the cop, and a pile of girls just jumped him. And it's the last you saw of the cop. He just disappeared onto the ground somewhere. We never did see him. I don't know if the poor guy was injured or anything. I just know what happened. Oh, it was funny.
They found him years later in robes and long hair.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Well, did you, speaking of playing live, were there any standout other artists or bands that you admired back then, that you saw, like contemporaries that you were into?
Well, we played with probably everybody American during the era. You know, for some reason the promoters didn't seem to put the English and the Americans together. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but you probably couldn't name anybody that we didn't play with at some point.
Yeah, because I think you played with, you must have played with Sons of Adam, Buffalo Springfield.
The first tour we did was with Buffalo Springfield, bus tour back east and stuff. And,
the Doors too, right?
The Doors were our opening act for 6-7 months up and down the coasts of the West Coast, from Southern California to Oregon to even up into Washington. And Jim Morrison used to sit out in front and watch Sky, and that's where he got most of his moves were from Sky.
That's what Lord Tim told me too.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah,
true story.
Yeah, he said that Jim used to come and watch him, you guys, and Love, and because it was pretty much Love and you guys were playing a lot of the same around the same time.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Did you hang out with Arthur much at all?
I didn't. Sky did.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, right.
Those two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some stories with them, boy.
Yeah.
But we'll avoid that for now.
Yeah, they like to party, and I once in a while, but I'm just not that person, you know. So.
Yeah, how was it being in a band when the band was relatively straight, but you have this lead singer who's just really into drugs and well, not so much alcohol, but drugs.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really into alcohol.
Not then. I guess at some point he did.
He did when we were playing. He started getting a little taste for vodka and orange juice.
Yeah.
And that was like towards the end. He didn't really drink before that.
Yeah.
He was relatively healthy when it came to eating and stuff.
Yeah.
But although sometimes you want to eat more. But yeah, that's got to be tough. I've been in bands with people that were it's just not sustainable after a while. It happens.
Yeah, probably too frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's always been my opinion that drugs, especially for Sky, but so many. I mean, how many passed before their time and was drug related? So what's that tell you right there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, but the
it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame.
There's nothing romantic about it. People like to romanticize it.
Yeah, no, it's really not. You know, we played with at the Hollywood Bowl. We played with Janis Joplin, the Big Brother, and Big Brother would come out and do one song or something, or a half a song, and then they announced Janis, and they had her on the sidelines with one guy on each side of her holding her up. And she would be so blasted she could hardly stand, but they would just give her a gentle little push out onto the stage, and she'd kind of stumble out there and grab a hold of that microphone, and all of a sudden it was like a light switch. Click, here's Janis.
Wow.
And she would do an amazing show, do everything she was supposed to do. Everybody loved it. She'd go off the stage and barely make it to the edge of where the curtain was, and fall flat on her face, passed out cold. I saw it happen 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Absolutely just passed out cold.
Wow.
So when I heard the news about her passing, I went, well, not surprised.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I guess the story is she loves Southern Comfort and heroin, so it's not good. It's just not good.
No. Same thing with Jimi.
Yeah, God, we played with Jimi Hendrix in New York City for 3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was an underground club in the village, and you literally walked down a stairs like you're going down into a basement, and then the club opened up underneath. In fact, do you remember Beto Lido's here in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit similar to that in the village, Greenwich Village in New York, and Jimi was about the same status as we were at the time. He was up and coming, we were up and coming, whatever. But so we played this club, and every night they had to change the sign on the thing. It said, tonight, the Seeds and Jimi Hendrix. And then the next night they'd flip it around. It said, Jimi Hendrix and the Seeds. And every night they'd have to flip it. It was part of the contract or something. I don't know. That was probably Lord Tim or whoever set that up. No, I don't know if Lord Tim was involved with this at that point. I'm not real sure. You know, this is a while back, so your memory bank gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Of timelines, you know.
I'm having trouble remembering last year.
Right.
Did you hang out with Jimi or have any interaction?
A little bit, tried to, but again, Jimi loved LSD, and he was stoned all the time, and he was very incoherent. And another guy, he could go all of a sudden, if he was off stage and you're trying to talk to him, he'd be going, hey man, look at all them colors, look at that, you know. Just stoned. But he'd go back, get up on stage, and it was like Janis. It was like somebody turned the switch, and he could just make magic on the guitar. It was incredible.
It's wild how that happens.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I get too fuzzy-headed and I can't think, what's the next chord? You know, I don't want to do that. I just don't do it. You know, so.
Well, you have to lock it down more.
Yeah, I got a lot more to think about. You know, I'm doing 2 parts basically at a time. You know, I'm with the two instruments and 2 hands going on, doing different stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a little different, and you got to pay attention.
Another very cool thing about your playing, your technique, is the overhand 2-hand technique.
Yeah.
That was always very cool.
I don't know why I did that to begin with, but it just sort of got everybody said, wow, that's so cool, and I'd never seen anybody doing it. So I'm comfortable here. I'm doing this. So, yeah.
I also just wanted to ask you about, you know, your original bandmates, and then maybe about the new band as well.
Yeah.
But maybe just a couple of words, like, you know, a lot of people don't know much about Rick Andridge because he didn't really do any of the reunion stuff, really, except for when you did he do Summer of Love in the late 90s? He did.
Yes.
That was all original.
Yes.
So that was probably the big return for the Seeds original lineup.
Yeah.
Was the Summer of Love tour.
Yeah, probably.
Was that fun?
It was, except for Sky, unfortunately.
When he shaved and.
Yeah, when we first met him, he looked like Jesus or something, you know, and he was a wreck, and he hadn't had a bath in a month, and so we talked him into shaving off his beard and doing something with his matted hair and this and that and the other thing, and dressed him up a bit and brought him back, really, and but again, now you were asking about Arthur Lee or something. So they were on the tour. So Sky and Arthur were in the back of the bus getting loaded all the time, So I sat up with Jan in the front of the bus, and we'd talk and the scenery or whatever else, blah, blah, blah. But it was interesting, but it brought back all the memories of why I did not want to play anymore with Sky Saxon.
Yeah.
He was uncontrollable at a lot of points, and he, at that point, he was just, he'd lost his range in his voice. It wasn't like the old days, And
I remember when maybe it was 2002, Arthur had got released from prison, and they were had these big shows in Europe, and there seemed to be something in the air that there was going to be a resurgence of 60s music again. Things come in waves. And for so long we had, it went kind of metal, hair metal, then the 90s were very grungy.
Yeah.
But then in the early 2000s, people started having more appreciation for 60s music and some 50s. And I could see that happening, and I kept in touch with Sky over the years, and I said, hey, Arthur's out of jail. I saw him play at Spaceland. He had an amazing backup band, and he actually sounded really good. He was sober.
Yeah.
Got humbled from being in prison.
Yeah.
And he came out. I have it on video, and I've never posted it. And Robert Plant was there. The Strawberry Alarm Clock were hanging out. The Prunes, everybody's there to see Arthur. And it was probably the best he sounded since before. Because he was like, at the time you saw him too, there was a lot of drug use going on. And I called Sky, he was living in Mount Shasta, and I said, hey, do you think there's a possibility of getting the Seeds together? Daryl and you and Rick, and I'll play bass. Of course, I was trying to get myself in there. And he was kind of resistant, and then when he heard Arthur was out and he was going to Europe, then he changed his mind. And at the time, he was playing at a little coffee house called Has-Beans on a Sunday afternoon with one of his Yehovah buddies.
Really?
I said, do you want to play Has-Beans for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go tour Europe like Arthur is?
Yeah.
And that's what got him to change his mind.
I see, yeah.
But I remember reaching out to you. It wasn't me. Maybe it was our keyboard player at the time that we were kind of... I was trying to get a band together, but I wanted you guys, of course.
Yeah.
And you politely... And I want to thank you for this because you were so gracious and cool about it, though. You politely declined. But you said, hey, if he has any questions about playing the parts and all that, I'd be glad to talk to him. And if he ever wants, needs pointers on how to play everything. And he might have called you, I think maybe Dave. I don't remember. But that was always really, I was, really respected that. Maybe we talked a little bit back then.
Yeah, I remember a little of that.
But it was really gracious of you to not poo-poo the whole thing and be like, you know what, not for me, but... Yeah, I support this.
Well, that's it. I always supported, and do for everybody. I didn't need to do that anymore. I just,
Yeah.
But then, the movie came out. Neil Norman produced the Pushing Too Hard movie, which I'm going to be doing in Beverly Hills on Sunday.
The Lemire Theater.
And you're in it also. And anyway, that kind of changed things from life again. People are coming up to me and after the movie and say, "Oh, wish we could see the group again." And I said, "Well, you can't see most of the group, but whatever." Sky had passed by that time, and Rick was still alive, but Rick got dementia, and he couldn't do anything like that. He was back east under his sister's care at the time. Basically,
and you and your wife took care of him for a while.
For a while, we had an apartment at our property, and he was there. But till he got just too out of it, he unfortunately that's a bummer one, especially for people who are around you. That you just forget everything. When you walk up to somebody and you say, "What are those round things on the car?" and you go, wheels, tires.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and then 10 minutes later, ask the same question.
Yeah.
So it's not a good one at all.
Yeah.
Any kind of dementia and what's the other one? Alzheimer's. it's bad news.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And
I know it was hard for yourself and your wife, but you helped him as much as you could. That was your buddy from kids.
Yeah, as kids, right? We first met in first day of junior high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and became really good friends. And we came out from Michigan together, the two of us. Drove out in a '57 Chevy across the country. Slept in the car in the Grand Canyon and froze our ass off. I had my Wurlitzer electronic piano on the back seat of the '57. He had his whole drum kit in the trunk, and then a little bit of luggage and clothes. So the car was stuffed. And I remember trying to sleep on top of the Wurlitzer in the back seat of the car, and he was in the front seat crammed up. And about every 20 minutes, he'd start the car to put the heater on because we were just freezing.
Wow.
I can't remember what. It was probably not that long before they closed the park, edging into winter,
Yeah.
So anyway,
Things
you do when you're young and you're starting out, it was quite something.
Well, I always thought that was really cool that you did what you could for your brother's seed.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately we lost Jan.
Yes, I was always in touch with Jan, really up until a couple weeks before he passed. And he was living in Oklahoma at that time. And, poor Jan didn't have an easy time of it, that's for sure.
True. Another lovely man, though. Really, we had him for a little while. That same time I was speaking when we asked you to play, he did come. Fortunately, he had to fly back from Europe. But there was like times that I just had goosebumps hearing him, that style that was only him.
Yeah.
Only he can do that. I remember he was teaching Mark, and there'd be times when he started getting better, like warming up, because he hadn't played guitar in a long time.
Yeah.
And it started coming back more and more, and you would be playing and hear that, wow, and be like, you get this chill.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah, he had a distinct style. I think that's one of the things. I'm not sure if it's why maybe the Seeds have lasted longevity here through all the decades, but we do have a distinct, different sound, and each one of us in the group are individuals that created this. It took Sky Saxon, but it also took Daryl Hooper and Jan Savage and Rick to create the Seeds at the time and write all this material. And the group would not have existed if all four of us hadn't been doing that. It wasn't just Sky.
No.
He couldn't have done it at all. And we couldn't have done it without Sky either. It was a group effort. And like I said, I think might have something to do with the longevity of everybody liking the music. And so many our new shows today, I'm always amazed at the age differences. We get the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. Everybody comes to our shows.
Yeah.
It's not one audience. It's not just the old fans, which you love to see, whatever. But we've got these young people that have discovered the music,
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
I absolutely agree with you. The band was so unique. Each individual member created something that was different, and that is why it's lasted so long. There's a lot of young people come into the documentary on Sunday.
Yeah.
There's a whole. I'm in touch with a lot of the newer garage rock, the 60s scene of people in their 20s and 30s.
Right.
There's some great bands right now that are the grandchildren of the Seeds.
Yeah.
And all of them love the Seeds, and they love, the Music Machine and all these bands. But one of the top bands is always mentioned is the Seeds.
Yeah.
And they're so excited to come. And when you see them, it's like they walked out of they have the perfect Chelsea boots and the haircuts, and it's great that they've kept that music alive.
Yes.
But there's a whole new generation of young people that love the Seeds.
I know. It's amazing.
And that brings us to your new lineup, too.
Yeah.
Because you have Alec Palau on bass. Alec is very well known for not only being a great bass player musician and a producer, but basically a rock historian in a way.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to mention right away. If I have somebody like yourself ask me some question that happened 50 years ago, I may not be able to remember it. But if we were standing and Alec was there, I would say, ask Alec, because he can answer any question about any band, anything in that era. It's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And he's a hell of a bass player and a great guy, and he's written a couple songs that we did do in conjunction with his wife and Paul and whatever Butterfly Child that we produced a while back here.
Love that song.
In fact, in your studio, right?
Great song.
And we got a new one coming up here. We're going to be recording while we're here with you. The name of the song is called Portrait. That's about all I can tell you about it.
Okay.
But we hope to have it out here in a few months and in the springtime. We're also hoping to do a live version from the Coco in London that we just did a few months ago. And we, like I said, we were sold out there. And the UK said we were the best act of 2025. I was like really honored. So they did do recordings, and we have separation, and we're going to be able to hopefully put an album together here, and it's live at the Coco, the Seeds.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I saw some of the video, and the show was like packed.
It was.
That was a nice venue, too.
Yeah,
beautiful.
The venue was over the top.
Yeah.
Beautiful, over a 1920s or even older opera house type thing, like 4 stories tall and just ornate and amazing inside.
Yeah.
And they nowadays these places, they take all the seats out inside, and so they get that many more people, I guess. But it was just a sea of people. It was an incredible show for us, and obviously it was a good show because we got 2025 the best act. So
no, it's so cool because you put together a great band. Oh, we should mention who else is in the band. You have Mark Belgraf.
Yes.
You can thank me or blame me for that.
No, I thank you.
Mark's wonderful. He played with Sky, and when we were doing the Sky's version of the Seeds, and he's playing with you on guitar. And then we have Justin Smith, who also played with Sky. So it's like a family. Like, these are people that have been playing Seeds music for a while.
That's very true.
So when you go see the Seeds now, and Daryl is is the last remaining original member, you're getting people that are playing in his band that are true Seeds fans and have been playing this music for a while.
That's true. Yeah.
They have to understand how great this band is.
I'm so happy with the people. I couldn't be happier or have better, more perfect people involved with me in the group. And they just all fit absolutely perfect. And Paul is amazing, that can sing and drag the audience in right there. And he's not a copy of Sky. You don't want that. He is Paul, but yet he captured all of the essence and the feel of the 60s and our music.
Absolutely.
And that's what the band does. We're not copying what we did, but yet it's all there. It's the feel on stage is you're going to come back to the 60s.
Yeah. Oh, Paul Comp's an amazing front man. What a singer. I mean, his performance on Butterfly Child, still one of my favorites. And like you said, he's not trying to be Sky. That wouldn't make any sense to even try to do that. Sky's such an individual. Paul's such an individual.
Right.
And Paul has a pedigree, a great pedigree as well, with all the people that he's played with.
Yes.
And sang with. And I just think that I really get, at the beginning people were like, what's this going to be without Sky? And I'm one of them. I played with Sky, as you did. But I'm 100% when I saw what you guys were doing, and I heard that Paul was singing.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, Mark, you should do this, because I think you had another guitar player for a while, another drummer. And I was like, you got to get Justin and Mark. And then that was like, bam, it just clicked.
That rounded it out and made everything click.
Yeah. No, this is it. So hopefully you, if you're watching this and Seeds come to your town, you go get a chance to see them. And you have to see the documentary too, because it will be coming out on DVD and Blu-ray. Neil was saying that's coming out soon too, so people will finally be able to buy it.
Right.
And it's streaming on Vimeo too. You can rent it on Vimeo. And Neil has also tours it around, so it might come to your town. He might be taking it to Europe to play in theaters, so you can maybe see a special screening in the theaters as well to see it. Before we wrap up, though, I wanted to play a little bit of this and just get a reaction, maybe if anything hits, you remember from this day.
Yeah, it looks like you've got the mothers-in-law up there on the screen.
Yeah, I remember Sky told me that he was on LSD for this. I don't know if he was making it up.
I don't think that. I think he made that up.
Okay.
I know him enough on LSD, and he was a little too spacey. No, he was pretty straight for this.
Okay, good. I always wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, he was pretty straight, I think, for this one.
But it's called pushing too hard.
We hope you like it. We think it's gassy.
You're pushing too hard, or pushing on me. You're pushing too hard, or what you want it to be. You're pushing too hard about the things you say.
What did you think when you saw when you got this TV show?
When I got there,
Yeah. What did you think of the whole situation?
the whole situation I loved from beginning to end. I tell you a little bit about it without going into too long a time here, but it's a Desi Arnaz production.
He was a genius.
He was the director. First day we walk in the studio, just to give you a little idea, these half-hour sitcoms take 3 days. Mm-hmm. The first day you come in the studio and they spot you and do that a little bit, and then you sit at a table and you read your script. The Seeds didn't have much. Sky had a few more lines. I had 2 or 3 words, whatever.
What a lot of people don't know is there's a lot more than just this clip.
Oh, yes, there's
Because
more
it's
in
more
there.
interaction.
Oh, yeah.
And then you do the marching band at the end.
Yes, right.
There's a whole episode.
The whole episode was revolved around us.
Yeah.
It was made for us. In the movie or in the TV show, they called us the Warts, which it was funny. It's a situation comedy,
Right. Sky hated
hated this thing. He wouldn't talk about it. If somebody brought it up, don't you talk about it, He thought the word warts meant war.
Yeah.
And he was just terrible about it. Whereas all the rest of us, warts doesn't mean war. It doesn't mean crap. It's a TV comedy show.
Yeah.
There was nothing weird conspiracy here, Sky, but you couldn't talk him out of it, That's later,
Yeah.
During it, he was fine and whatever. And somebody probably mentioned that stupid saying somewhere along the line, and that did Sky in, whatever. But all the people, and my most memorable is, of course, Desi, who was so professional and so respected. He would walk into the room, the whole set would go quiet.
For those of you people that don't know, it's Desi Arnaz, who was in Lucy's husband in I Love Lucy.
Yes, that's right.
Real life husband.
Husband, yeah. And anyway, he was amazing. And then the other one that always I remember is Eve Arden was in there. Now, she did stuff with you young people won't remember this unless you pick them up on reruns somewhere, as Our Miss Brooks TV show she did, and radio before that. She was so professional. She was just amazing. Mm-hmm. Friendly, nice, not over, but just super professional. Mm-hmm. And respected you, didn't act like, here's this young, whatever, they don't know anything type of people. No, she didn't treat you like that at all. Yeah. Was a very nice person. And smart. I'll go back to how the show worked. You're in there and you read your scripts at the table. She's reading hers. By halfway through, she's set it on the table, and they're still going around, and she knows it. The next day, they're lining you up and lighting you and doing all this stuff, and you're running through your lines like you're supposed to say. She knew everything that she was supposed to say, and some people would forget theirs, and she'd say, it's such and such. She knew everybody's script. She was the memory, photographic memory, I guess you call that.
Yeah.
And she was really, that was part of my memory of how professional, how cool she was.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But the whole experience for me was just absolutely great and perfect. Yeah. And the checks kept rolling in for years.
Nice. Little
residual. They might got it down to $40 or something. But it was always a surprise. And let's go have lunch or something.
Yeah. Love that mailbox money.
Exactly. And it went on for a long time.
Anyway, the thing also with this is like there actually really is a culture kind of clash, and this new generation of rock and roll.
Uh-huh.
So it was interesting that they let you all on TV, national TV. People have to remember this was it. This was like what people watched, millions of people.
Right.
Did you feel any pressure from that? Like, we're going to be on national television, or was it pretty easy?
No, it was pretty easy. I never really had a problem with that. I mean, we played at the Hollywood Bowl for 18,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And, I maybe would have have a problem if I had to walk out there all by myself and just play the piano.
Yeah.
But I got a group with me, and I'm very comfortable. And all these situations, the TV shows, we did a lot of different television things. This was probably the longest one. But, of course, we did all the music shows, American Bandstand and Shindig.
Did you have a favorite thing you did with that TV?
I don't know. They were all really good. And
Yeah.
did Casey Kasem, Where's the Action? There was one show we did. I can't remember who hosted that one. You may know. Maybe it was Where the Action Is. And it was filmed at the beach, and it was filmed here and there. And we would go to Palm Springs for like about a month every weekend. We had to go and film. Paul Revere and the Raiders were on the show all the time. And we were on it for a little while there, like about a month or so, doing these different shows, or 4 to 6 shows with them or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. A little short story, the typical, early young people and rock and roll, whatever. We all crammed in a Cutlass car. That's just a small 4-door car, but be like a Toyota today or something. And driving across the desert, the radiator went, and no water, and it was, of course, 110 outside or more, the desert going to Palm Springs. So I remember hiding underneath a overpass or something just to get out of the blazing sun. And we could let the car sit for a long enough time to get the temperature gauge to come down. We'd get back in the car, start it up, and go for it. And maybe make 5-6 miles and then have to shut it off and pull over again. It took us it's supposed to take, I don't know how many hours to get to Palm Springs, but triple or more to get there. The typical stuff. Oh, God.
Yeah. It's funny the things you remember, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, when they're like that, you kind of remember them, But
on this, were you guys were kind of lip syncing and playing along?
Yes.
Because I think you could hear like live drums.
Yeah.
Then Sky breaks the maracas.
Yeah.
And, I think he breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, because Rick's really playing and stuff, and
yeah, that's pretty cool. This is
like I said, it was totally fun for me, and everybody enjoyed it. And Sky enjoyed it at the time. The young girl in there that plays the part in the show all the time, Deborah Wally, she lived at Malibu Lake where I lived at later in life, and I actually taught her to play the piano.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
She is right there.
Oh yeah,
you can hear Rick thump, thump, thump. What? You're right. We were kind of playing. That was a real piano, so I probably was playing the piano.
Aren't they beautiful?
Well, we better run by the bank before it closes.
With the bank, yes. Here you are, Jared. That's my
So classic. This is on Amazon. You can see the whole series.
You can see the whole thing
on
out
Amazon
there.
TV.
Yeah.
They have the whole seasons of this mother-in-law show.
Oh, really?
And the full episode's on there in really clear color.
Oh, really?
It's really nice.
Cool.
That was the first time I got to watch it. Because all you could see for years was this on grainy bootlegs, tapes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But finally, it's streaming now.
Yeah, well, that's
so you
good.
can see it.
Yeah.
Well, Daryl, I just want to thank you for doing this and coming on my show.
Oh, you're most welcome.
I wanted to do this for a while, and you've always been so, cool with me. And we've had some great phone calls too. Some great conversations. I think this was a pretty good one.
Yeah, well,
I'm so happy for all your success and everything that's still happening.
Thank
Is there
you.
anything you want to say to your fans and people before we?
Just watch out for Facebook and wherever you get your information out there and stuff. And everything is starting to gel right now, especially with what we did just this year in England, and so we're most likely going to be back in England, and they're talking about Paris and maybe other spots too in Europe. So,
and that's what possibly I heard with A Love Revisited.
Possibly with Love. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Johnny Eccles is in there with the Baby Lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. You still have a lot of exciting stuff, and I got to get out to your pub sometime.
Yeah, sure. You're most welcome.
Well, I guess we're going to go now. They're going to do a live performance in the studio and record a new song. So it's quite the day today.
Yeah, it is.
All right, signing off from Shattered.
Right. Rick, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. We'll be drinking later. Bye.
This is Shattered. I'm your host, Rick Collins.